Okay, and welcome back again. Last time we talked about modification of this draft key from a file, and here is how we left. Next, we are going to assemble, or as such disassemble that's the carburetor there and the carburetor joint, and here comes the cylinder head. As you can see, that those are the valves, and the engineer now is cleaning up the valves. Is removing some of the debris that has been lodged there. That is the inlet valve, and that the other one is the exhaust valve. So some few cleaning is to be made. You can see, and this, can you see the spark plug? Yeah, that's the spark plug. The cylinder head is a very important component of an engine, and it houses a lot of very many important parts. As you can see, it has the fins which enables it to cool, as this engine is an air cooled system. So the engineer has to remove the debris from the fins so that to increase the surface area of cooling. Petrol is then used to clean away the debris, as it's a very good solvent in this engineering sector. While cleaning time is taken care, and then you clean both sides of the cylinder head. That is the rocker arm and valve spring compartment. After making sure the cylinder head is properly cleaned, you come and install the head gasket there. Then we clean the last time the cylinder head and lubricate a little bit. Then comes the installation of the cylinder head. Here the engineer is trying to align the cylinder head towards the crank head, and that's how it's done. Then after a little cleaning, they insert the bolts so as to torque it to the cylinder block. Then using a 12-inch wrench, the engineer tugs up the bolts over into the cylinder block, each by one, and it does to the opposite sides of the engine, as you can see here. The engineer will ensure that the bolts are tugged to a very good specification, so as to make the engine firm and steady. You know, the engine has a lot of vibrations, and due to the vibration the bolts become untugged, and that's a problem in engineering. Following is the installation of the carburetor joint, then nutting a 12mm bolt onto the cylinder head, then the installation of the push rods. These push rods are used to push the opening and closing of the valve. Later, the engineer comes to press down the valve spring so as to enable the rocker arm to fit well onto the crank cylinder head. As you can see here, the engineer is trying to position the rocker arms very well. And then next is to check the valve clearance and make it into an optimum engine operating level. Keep in mind this valve spring timing is done a lot, and as you can see the engineer is rotating the crankshaft to situate the camshaft and the camshaft to be in synchrony. This is a very important aspect in the engineering sector, as a lot of timing is done here. As you can see, another rotation so as to put into synchrony the phases of intake, compression, exhaust, and even power stroke. Actually, as you can see here, the engineer is taking a lot of time to time this engine. And this our engine is simulated, fellow engineering enthusiasts. The next part of the engine, when it was fully finished, was done the next day, and I would think was not available. It took a lot of work here. As you can see, the engineer is still doing some timing in the engine. And if you love more of my content, please consider subscribing, and I will continue making good content for you as we go. Automotive engineering is a very interesting engineering sector, and I love it.